Hello there everyone, my name is Chris, I am the Man Collects. Welcome to another toy review here on the YouTube channel. Before we get into that though, thank you for taking your time to watch this video. If you do end up enjoying it, do me a favor, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the Man Collects, consider subscribing to the channel, turn on your bell for notifications so you will know when content is uploaded, and be sure to follow me on Instagram and all that other wonderful stuff us YouTube content creators like to say. But let's get down to it, guys. Here tonight to review a figure I'm excited to get my hands on and check out to see. This figure caused some controversy back when it was first announced because of the price. Everybody was kind of complaining it was too expensive, yada yada yada, but let's see if it's worth it or it's not. What am I talking about? You already seen the video title, you've already seen the pictures in the thumbnail. Right there, the Marvel Legends Maximum Series Spider-Man, the first in this new Maximum series. We're going to see what that is all about. The figure does come with several accessories here. We'll take a look at that here in a minute. It does come with a price tag, though, of $50 US. Now, that is before any kind of tariff markups or whatever for price increases that are coming. But as of the day I'm recording this, which is May the 9th, it's still $49.99 on most retailers I have looked at. Check your online stuff, guys. You're still trying to find this. If it is more than $50 online, I don't know if BBTS and Entertainment Earth up the price yet on it or not, but I have seen it in GameStop, a couple of GameStops in my area this week for only the $50 still, so maybe you can find one there. If you are trying to find it in retail, there you go. There is the barcode. If it'll zoom in, just zoom in on that right there. Take you a screenshot. Have your retailer scan that baby and see if it's going to be in their system, if they're going to be getting it. But we're now going to reposition the camera to get an overhead view. We're going to take a closer look at Maximum Spider-Man. I've got some other Marvel Legends laying here we're going to compare it to see if it's any better than them or about the same or whatever. But let's get the camera moved and let's get him out of the box. Here we go, my friends. We got it laying here on the table now. Going to take a closer look at the Maximum Spider-Man from Hasbro Marvel Legends. Sorry about the glare here, guys. I got my light set up. We're going to hold this up here in a second, so that will not matter. So let's just go ahead and do that now. Take a look at our packaging on here. You got your Marvel Legends branding up here at the top. All your warnings about choking hazards and all that wonderful stuff. They recommended for ages 4 and up. We got a little comic panel here. Then you can all that aside, we can see here you got a different alternate head sculpt there with Spidey. We'll take a look at these in more detail once we get it out of the package. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of hands that come with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I counted that right. And a bunch of web effects. You got some over here in the corner. It's kind of hard to see right now in the package where it kind of blends in with the background. You got some there. Looks like a little web shield down here in the bottom, and you got of course these web, I guess, lines here on the side. Down at the bottom, you do have your Maximum Series branding. You know, Spider-Man was the first. You got the Hulk on pre-order right now. He's coming next. And you got your character name here. And, of course, Hasbro's company logo over there. Side panel, got an awesome picture of the figure there pose on the side. A little comic panel graphic. Got your Marvel Legends branding. The little pinky window there in the side. Our other side has a cool picture of the figure again. Hanging down there with a little spider sense, attachment that comes with him. And then Marvel Legends at the bottom. Top of the thing, you just got your Maximum Series Spider-Man Marvel Legends. Bottom, you got all your legalese and all that wonderful stuff. I'm not going to try to zoom in so you can read that, but hey, there is the barcode again if you need a better picture of that with some better lighting to try to get pictures to scan at your retailers. And then the back of the box. Like the big, large picture of Spider-Man there, the vibrant colors. The packaging I like. Packaging looks pretty cool. You know, looks like a higher class, I guess, Legend. I like the bright colors. You know, they know what they're doing to get it to pop and catch your eye. A good mix of dark background there with the reds and whites and stuff to accentuate the things and get you to pay attention to it. But you don't care about the packaging. We care about Spider-Man. We care about that figure and whether or not it's worth $50 or not. So let's cut the tape on this sucker. Let's get him out and let's check out the Maximum Series Spider-Man. And here we are. We have got him out of package. What we're going to look at first, guys, as you can see, he comes with a good amount of accessories. Now, that is one thing I will say. I'm not going to get into whether or not I think the price point is worth it at this part of the video, but you take a look at all the stuff he comes with. He does come with a buttload of accessories. You got 3 head sculpts. You got all those hands. Plus all this stuff. You got a stand here for some of the accessories as well. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, you get extra stuff with him. $50, you better get some extra stuff with him. But let's take a look at all the accessories first, starting with our alternate head sculpts. Let's take a look at the other Spider-Man head first. Then we'll get into the Peter Parker head. This one, the difference looking at it, has got more, the black lines around his eyes are thicker. I don't know. I thought I liked the other head better. I think looking at this one more before I turned the camera back on, I kind of like this one, guys. Now, the lines on it, I don't see much blemishes. I'm going to have to move away from the camera, get closer to my face for a second. I wish I'd have brought a magnifying glass out here. One thing I will say, I saw some people posting online that the lines on top of his head where the plastic meets here was not lined up. On this one, it is, and you'll see in a minute on the actual figure there, they line up as well. So I guess that was one person had a QC, or maybe it's a few people had that QC issue. Luckily, the one I've got here does not have that. Close my hands together so it doesn't show the rest of the stuff laying down there. But there you go, guys. It's doing a long, slow spin on this so you can see all the lines on there. So far, I think it's pretty cool. I got to say, all the lines seem to be somewhat symmetrical and they somewhat match up. One thing I will say, which it may be that they're trying to give him an expression with the eyes. Now you can see you're a lot black, or a lot more thicker black here than you are over there. I don't know if that's an issue with it or just the way the figure is supposed to look, kind of like he's squinting one eye and looking big eye with the other to have some expression. You know, he does that in the comics when he moves his eyes sometimes, as well as the old animated series. But that is your alternate Spider-Man head you get. Now, this one got some criticism, and I gotta say, has anybody ever watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Dennis, Glenn Howerton, the actor. That's who I see when I see this is Dennis. I don't say, look at the eyes. He looks psychotic. I gotta say, I don't like this Peter Parker head sculpt. I will not be using this on the figure. So I want to say the people complaining about this online, Man Collect's going to justify that one. I do not like that Peter Parker head sculpt. It's not so bad from the eyes down, you know, the mouth and nose and all that. Man, he does look creepy as crap. I mean, like I said, like, you know, Dennis from Sunny in Philadelphia, he got some Ted Bundy vibes going on there. But now, taking that aside, looking at the detailing, you know, the striations in the hair, and looking at the paint and all that, I mean, it doesn't look bad. I mean, it looks quality. You can tell the hair is not loose on there any bit. It's made onto the head good and all that good stuff. And you got coloring on the eyes. I don't know how good you can see that there in the camera. You know, it's not like just plain old white eyes back there. They look kind of like they're yellow or green, and they're like a yellowish green, like he's got some jaundice going on. But yeah, it's just a creepy looking facial expression there. They could have done a little bit better for that for Peter Parker. But we'll put that one down now. That one will not be going on the figure. That one we might try it on there and see how it looks. One thing I do want to look at as well before we get too far, we're going to take a look at his spider sense. And I do like this. I think this was a neat little idea to have to go on there. They made the clear in the background and the red lines so you can't see as much of the frame. And then getting into this, one thing I will say, when you pop this out of the plastic, be careful. This is not the thickest of plastic. You can break this thing getting it. Oops, see, I just dropped it. You can break this getting it out of the clamshell there to get it open, so be careful. And when I did open mine up, where this part here was held down, it kind of flung out of the package, and I had to go get it across the room there. But as you can see, mine survived. But we've had this alternate head sculpt of Spidey. You know, it just slides on over his head there. And, you know, I mean, it goes on there pretty good. Doesn't move a whole lot. So that is going to be good for some posability once you do get that on there on the figure. So that's pretty sweet. It doesn't seem to do any damage to the head, but it does slide on there and kind of stay pretty good once you do get it on him. Hopefully the other head's like that as well. All right, now our webbing and utensils he came with, these look cool. I mean, the only thing with them, it's going to be hard to get the camera to zoom on these guys, but here you can see what they look like here. They're just clear plastic, or kind of smoky plastic. It's not really all that see-through. It's kind of like a smoked look to it. It's very, very pliable. I mean, you can sit here and tie it in knots, you know, whatever you want to do with it. And you could do some cool posing, I guess, with that. But some people were saying, and I do agree, I mean, I know you get two pieces of it, so it would have been nice if maybe just one of these might have had a wire in it so you can do some posing with it and then have the other. But I've seen a lot of DIYers on there making some of this stuff with, I think, hot glue and then using wire on it. So these I don't know if I'll use. If I ever were to do like a web swinging pose with him and have him hung from a shelf or something like that, I would use one of these things. But you know, if you hang him up, he's just going to droop down because you don't have any way to really position this thing. But so I don't know about these. I mean, if I mess with the figures some more later on down the line, I might like these a little better. But they look cool as far as just looking at them for the appearance of them. But as far as any functionality and posing or anything like that, I'm not sure how those are going to be super beneficial where they are so limp. One that I do like, we'll talk about. I like the web shield. That is very hard plastic. That is awesome. If you do any kind of posing with Captain America, you got the C-clip here on the back like comes with the cap and U.S. agent figures and such, and Captain Carter's with the shield where you can clamp it onto his wrist. That's going to look cool. We're going to get a Captain America figure in this Maximum series before too long. So, and I've got plenty of other Marvel Legends Cap figures and a U.S. agent looking at over on the shelf that I can pose them now with their shields, and also pose Spider-Man with his shield here. So I do like this. That's an awesome accessory, little thing there you can use like a little team up with Cap or any of the other shield wielding, heroes in the Marvel universe. So do like that shield. You can see both sides of it there. And again, it's not soft rubber anyway. It is hard plastic on there. It's not very easy to bend. All right, what do we got next? This little thing here. I'm not going to say what that looks like because the kids might watch this video, but you got this one, and this is one, honestly, guys, I don't know. If you pose him like he's web shooting, yeah, I could see like he's shooting something at a bad guy. This is kind of like the fireball things that come with the Street Fighter figures from GIJoe Toys, but you do have a stand here that you can put together. Let's just snap it together real quick. It goes in there like that, and then there is a hole. It's kind of hard to see. It's almost translucent. Right there in the bottom, you can kind of see it there with the light on the little web ball thingy. But, you just pop that down on there, and you can put that on a stand like he's shooting it at someone. And, once you get it on there, you can angle like he's shooting it up or anything you want to do like that once you get it on. So you can have him standing there like he's shooting the web thing out at somebody or whatever. I don't know. I don't much care for this accessory. So far, the shield is my favorite of all these. I probably won't use this. This will probably go in a sandwich bag, labeled Maximum Spider-Man accessories or something. We'll leave it in there. I don't mess with it right now. This one I do like. I do like this one. If it'll go in his hands very well. Look at his hands, see what kind of attachment points we have on there for the webbing. But I do like he's like shooting out and starting to form like a web net here, like he's getting ready to web up one of the bad guys. This also has got a little bit of a bend to it, but it's pretty sturdy, so you don't have to worry about that thing getting bent out of shape or anything like that. And it should, holding out to the side there, you can see there's not a lot of droop or anything on it, so it's not going to, sag down there and look kind of bad. Now, it might in time, after if you keep it like that for a long period of time, but I think that's a cool looking little accessory that did come with it there as a little web shooting net thingy or whatever it is. Alrighty. That's got all of that covered. Now we're going to get down to the hands. Let's see what kind of hand things we get with him here. The first one you see in the package are these two, and we're going to get these one at a time up here. Look at the lines on there. Even on the knuckles, it's got the lines going across. I think these, for what they are, were well done. You have a little grip hands there he can hold stuff with. You can even see on the thumb. If I can get to zoom in, there it goes. You got the lines there very well on the thumb. I don't see too many breaks or too many paint flaws in these looking at them here with you guys, but there's not anything on the palm of the hand, on the inside of the fingers there. It is all red, solid plastic, but let's be honest, who's really going to look at that besides doing one of these reviews and be bothered by it? But you can see it in all the places where it would be visible if you had him on display. But there is one hand to that one. Here is your other. But yeah, you can see on that one there, you got about the same level of detail on this hand as you do the other. Again, nothing on the inside of the hand there, but you can see it's got the lines across the palm and everything else. You get the checkerboard effect there on the back of the hand. All right, these next two, you get some expressions. You got kind of like a little half web shooting hand here. Like he's got one of his fingers bent down on there, but about again, the same level of detail. You got the lines drawn on the hand. It is a little bit broken there. You can see on his palm, it kind of breaks right in there. It's not a full line going over to his thumb. And then there you can see on the top with the fingers and all that. It's not bad. I mean, I got to say, so far the hands look like they're pretty cool. As far as the lines, I mean, there's a lot of detail on there. I got to say, even if it's off a little bit, that's a lot of fine detail for an action figure hand. I would love to have a Mafex figure to compare this to a Mafex Spider-Man. Now, right there, it looks a little weird on the knuckles where you don't get the solid red in there, but again, a cool looking thwip hand there, like he's shooting off his spider webs. Now, that one, the lines do go way across on the palm where the fingers are touching his palm, like that. Where the other one, it kind of broke right there around the fingertips. You couldn't see it very well. All right, our next hands, and one of these are probably one of the ones I use on this figure when I put him on the shelf. I like these that have the thwip thing going on with a little bit of web projection coming out because he's getting ready to start shooting a web line or something. I like that. That was a cool detail. I don't remember seeing that when looking at this figure on the Marvel Legends fan streams and all that. I must have missed that part, just forgot about it, but that does look pretty good. I mean, they could have it's kind of coming back into here which I guess that's where I'm trying to think of where his web shooters actually come out in his hand. It's probably about accurate, I guess, kind of back closer to the base of his hand and not right in his palm. But yeah, you got about the same. I could get it in the camera, couldn't I? You got about the same level of detail on this as you do on the others. The lines look to be a little more broken on this one, where it does have the web attachment on there, than they were on the others. And this is pliable, but it's pretty sturdy too. I mean, you can move it, but as you can see, it's going right back into shape of where it was at. So, and again, to me, you're going to be posing this stuff. You shouldn't be moving and bending that stuff all that much or butting it up against anything. You're going to be doing that like you're shooting out at something, or at least I would. His other one here, he just started a little bit smaller web line. I actually like that better. It looks like he's actually getting ready to shoot a line up to web swing from. So this is probably the one I put on him. If I pose him on my shelf, I'm probably going to have him pose like he's getting ready to start shooting up to hook on, to take off, and swing around the city a little bit in a little squatted pose, whatever I can get him in. And honestly, looking at it here, I kind of like the webbing a little better. I have to look, guys. I can't remember with Spider-Man's costume design. Are his knuckles solid red, or does he have lines on his knuckles? That I can't remember, because with this figure, you do have solid red knuckles. There's no lines or anything on the knuckles on these different hands. But there you can see all the detailing on that one. I know these were the two that a lot of people were excited about. The ones that have his little web shooter trigger there. So yeah, it does go back into there. So that is accurate on these, the way that's coming out, at least for this figure. I mean, it's kind of about where the base of the web shooter would be. But you can see there the trigger in the palm of his hand to shoot his web line, his web stuff off. And then you got the regular hands. Of course, these do not turn inside this little tumbler. This is fixed position. There's no hinge or anything in the hands either. So if you do put these hands on, they're going to be in stationary position just like they are here, the way that they're made. There is one of them. And then this one's actually got his fingers on the button there to shoot some webbing out. So that's pretty sweet as well. Again, though, no articulation in these. You put them on. These are the poses that you've got. And I'm assuming to put him on, you're going to have to pull his wrist off, back to this joint here and put these on. It's not going to go on the end of the wrist stud here. It would make his hand insanely long. But those are cool accessories, I got to say. These aren't my favorite. My favorite ones are these with the little web protrusions coming out. But as far as I was going to pose him with his human head, I'd probably use those hands on him. And then we're down to the last set of hands. I've spent too much time talking about hands here, but you got some open palm hands here. I'll probably use one of these in conjunction with that web shooting hand. And you can see here you got about the same kind of design as you have on the others. You got a plain red palm there in the middle with some more lines on his lower palm and finger. And then you got him going around his fingers and the top of his hand with red knuckles. Again, I think the hands are well done for what they are for a Marvel Legends figure, even though it is a $50 Marvel Legends figure. I shouldn't say this. I'll probably open it up to all kinds of crappy little comments, but let me know in the comments. What do you think? I want to know some good, honest answers. I don't want to hear like, oh, Hasbro's ripping us off. What do you like? What do you not like about this figure? If you've got it, let me know what you thought of it. If you didn't get it, is the price the main reason, or you just don't need another Spider-Man? I don't have a definitive Spider-Man in my collection. That's one reason I wanted this. And the guys, I was curious. They were kind of going after Mafex. I know the quality of figures Mafex has. I wanted to, and I've got some of those. I have opened some DC figures. I wanted to see, if this compared to a Mafex for, half the price. But that's all the accessories. Now it's time to look at what we want to see. Let's take a look at Maximum Spider-Man. So we're going to clear the board here. Move this out of the way of the camera so the camera's not trying to zoom in on any of those accessories. Need to get the sperm line out of the way. All right, guys. Let's just take a look at the figure first, and then we'll take a look at the posability and how he is. Now, I have not moved him since I took him out of the packaging, so we'll see how tight the joints are, if he's posable right out of the package, at least for the one that I got. Number one, let's look at the top of his head. As you can see there, the lines match. You can see right here where my fingertip is where the head connects. Now, there were some people I saw posting pictures online where those lines were off, like they were kind of shifted, and they didn't go smoothly like this. As you can see here on the one I've got, they do match up. They're not off any bit on there, so I'm glad for that. I was afraid I might have got one that's messed up. I've seen one too, and trying to look, I can't tell if it is, but some of the stuff right here in the center of his stomach was off. Some of the lines. It doesn't look like this one is. It looks like the lines are kind of consistent on this one. So maybe I got one of the ones after they identified some QC issues. But that's what it looks like there. Let's take a look at his head sculpt first. The eyes on this one are very symmetrical as far as your black trim around the white eyes. Looking at the webbing coming in there to the center between his eyes, we got the solid red dot. I mean, it all looks pretty good to me, guys. I can't see any visible gaps, but now, like I said, I haven't went over the fine tooth comb. I am going to get a little magnifying glass. I know that sounds extremely nerdy, but I'm going to do that and go over this a little better so I can get a closer look at it just to see if I do notice any blemishes. But right now, I don't see any broken lines or anything. Some are a little closer together than others, but like right there, you got those kind of drawn closely together. But you go on the other side, and it's kind of the same on the other side. So I will say that you got the colored here on the neck peg and good looking Spider-Man lines going on in there, down to the shoulders and the back with the bright red Spider-Man emblem. You got a little bit of red there around his waist where a belt would be, going down to his hind end, and then down the back of his legs there to the boots. And we're going to start at the feet and work our way back up. But again, you can see the lining on the feet. And right now, we're just looking at the figure, just looking at the paint and the lines. And we'll take a look at some articulation and stuff here in a little bit. But pretty consistent on the feet as well. Now, spider symbol on his chest. You can see there, that looks pretty good to me as well. It is good and centered. It doesn't look like it's tilted or off or anything or shifted to one side. You can see the lines here on his shoulders and arms all match up well. Even got lines there on the little red patch on his elbow coming down to his forearm and then his wrist and hands. It all looks like it flows pretty well, even though you got multiple parts there snapped together. And the same thing on the other side of him there. You can see all that same kind of flow. So far, guys, I got to say, I'm kind of liking him. We'll see how he is on posability. We're going to start with the head. Let's see how far he'll, not much tilt side to side. I mean, he's got a little bit there you can see. You can shift him. But let's see how much he'll look down. Oh, we got a really good downward look at that. Look how far the head goes down. That is pretty sweet. And doesn't look too awkward here on the back either when you look at it as far as him looking down. But it looks down way farther than what I thought it would. And that's even me rocking that neck piece down a little bit there. So that's helping him a little bit with the head sculpt. Now let's take him up. Oh, no, that's sweet. He'll almost go all the way. As far as he'll go. That's as far as he'll go. So that is way better than most other Marvel Legends as I got as far as memory serves. As far as he can look up there, that is pretty sweet for a Spider-Man figure. You know, you may have him doing some dives or something like that. They got some pretty good motion in that. I kind of wish the head would tilt more side to side. I can kind of get a side tilt, side head tilt to him there, but that's about all he's got. It's right there, and that's that neck peg right here moving as far as the head swiveling back and forth. Now let's see, turning the head. The whole neck thing there is turning with it. Does the head turn independent? It does, and he will do the Exorcist 360. But, oh, we're getting it off kilter there. That is a little bit stiff on there, but not bad. So the head, pretty good articulation. I wish we had a little more side to side because Spider-Man's a sarcastic little smart butt. He's going to be talking and cracking jokes and having that head cocked sideways looking at him and stuff. So kind of wish he had a little bit more of that. All right, let's move down to our torso here. Let's see how much of an ab crunch we got. Oh, and he'll almost double over, guys. He's got actually two. He's got one right here that's on most Marvel Legends, and you got a cut right here at the stomach as well. So you can move him down before you do the ab cut moving. He'll kind of slunch over a little bit. But then when you use that hinge joint there in his hips, he does do a pretty good little double over there as far as that. Taking it to the back. Oh, man, you got really good range of motion there as well, taking him back like that. So pretty good on that. And moving this piece independent, you can move it, but you can see it kind of goes right back. I would not want to force that because to me, if you force him to turn and kind of get a little bit of a different pose there, you're probably going to break that little pin it's got that attached there. It doesn't feel like it's something I would do. But you can move that some side to side. As you can see, if you move it, it kind of works its way back over into place. All right, now the arms and shoulders, you do have butterfly joints here, so you can rock his shoulders back. Actually, a really good way. As you can see there in the back, how much it rolls back towards the insignia there. And then there on the side, how much his shoulder joint, here's his actual shoulder rolled back. And then rolling them forward, comes forward almost all the way in on the same on the front side. You can see there on the back what that looks like. You even got, I guess it's supposed to be lines for the spider's feet there on his back. It's continued to come out on that one. You can see it there on his shoulder. All right, let's see how far. This is so far, guys. Man, he is really good to go out of the package. That does not feel stiff. It doesn't feel loose. It doesn't feel stiff. That's the way it should feel when these things come out of the package. You can see there how far you can take his shoulders up. They don't go just to level, they do go up a little bit more, which Spider-Man should have more articulation, more flexibility than some of the others. You do have a cut here at the bicep where you can move it independent of the shoulder joint, and the same thing, of course, on that one. And then you've also got the cut here on his forearm where you can turn his hands or his wrists different ways than what his hands or forearm or bicep is. Or get it right. And then, of course, the wrist there will go all the way around. And they do have hinge joints in these wrists where you can bend the hand a little bit there as well. And then let's get it straightened up. Got to be careful on these. They got small pegs on them. And there you go, moving it back. No side-to-side action here as far as posing it, just the movement, rocking it back and forth. You can see there, you got good range of motion on the arm there. Of course, they go all the way around. You can rock them out there. Good articulation. We can see there he can go all the way across his body, posing his arm with those butterfly joints and everything. So that's pretty sweet. You can get some good poses with Spider-Man, like, doing stuff like that. So let's see. Yeah, you can almost cross his arms all the way over there. That is awesome. That's awesome articulation. All right, let's put his arms straight up because now we're going to look at the legs. One thing I like to do is, can he do the Jean-Claude Van Damme? Let's see what we got here. Oh, not all the way. I'm kind of surprised and a little disappointed by that. I thought these hips would flare all the way out. They do not. As you can see, they almost do, but they don't go all the way straight to the side. You got a little bit of a bend there instead of being straight across like a lot of action figures will do. So that's you got some drop hips going there, kind of like the CT Toys and Mayfix and stuff. Let's see if we drop those down, if it'll go out any farther. No, it goes about the same. I'm kind of surprised he won't do the Van Damme kicks. Me, myself, I'm not. I know it makes better for posability. I don't like this. I don't like those drop hinge legs because that look right there. I want my legs to stay up where they should be, kind of like that. I'm not a fan of that. As far as kicking straight out, now you do have good. Look at that. That'll go way out, but most figures just go, with it straight out there. His goes up with a little bit of an angle, and then bringing the leg back down. Man, you can roll it back almost all the way through there, and that is a benefit of that drop hinge. So it has its benefits and it has its negativity there as far as that goes. Oh, I didn't even show what you do have double elbows up here as well, so you can get him pretty much crunched all the way back there how you want to with those elbows. He does have double jointed elbows. When we think about that, we're getting ready to get to the knees, but you do have the Marvel Legends thigh cut there where you can twist the thigh. You can see it moving there against the blue. Our knees are double jointed, so he can go fold his legs almost all the way up there and kick himself in the hind end if he feels so inclined. We got a cut here at his boot, so this part of his whole boot will twist on there. Of course, it'll go all the way around if you want it to. It's like that on both the legs. Getting down to his feet and ankles, his knees are stiff. I will say that. The knee joints on this one are stiff, especially this lower one. The upper one's not that bad, but this second joint there on his knee, on this one, I'm going to have to warm that up a little bit. That's actually pretty stiff. I'm afraid I'm going to break it on camera. As far as his ankle, having some side-to-side motion there, you see it's got a little bit, but you can fold his foot up about that far. Not a whole lot of articulation in the ankles. You can move it up about like that, and it will go out flat. I kind of thought his foot might be a little more flexible and have maybe some extra joints somewhere. I don't know. But you do have the toe articulation. You can see it there, what you can do with the toe. You can fold it all the way up, and then it does have a little bit of articulation where you can bend it down. And that's going to be the same, of course, on both feet. So there you go. All right, guys. As far as the quality of this thing, do I think it feels $50 worth? It is. It's highly posable. The stuff you can do. Look at this. Look at you can look at that. That's Spider-Man. You can get him in some gnarly poses. I don't know if I've got any other legends that will do that easily. And the feet pretty much will go together there. Most of the time you do that on them, they got a little bit, of a, that's an awkward pose. I'm sorry, but you can do that on there. But look how much you can ball him up to get some, for a Spider-Man figure, this is pretty sweet. Look at that. You can almost get him into a ball. Now, that's going to look awesome on a shelf. I do like all the highly articulated parts of him. He feels quality to me. People always say, how does it feel in hand? To me, this feels quality. It feels a little bit better quality plastic than a normal legend, quite honestly. Some of the Marvel Legends I've had before, the plastic feels kind of rough. This does not. This feels smooth. This feels like good quality plastic they've used on this. Don't know if it's different or not. I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying that it feels different in the hand. But I said, just look at all the different things, the way you can fold him in here. He can almost cross his arms. And like he's sitting there thinking about something. I mean, that's pretty sweet. He is pretty flexible. You can see there taking into the back. I mean, Lord, you can put the small of his feet there, almost right into his lower back. That's pretty cool. I mean, imagine you're going to have him doing some web swinging and stuff, back in poses like that. I mean, getting him into his, trademark poses. I mean, look at that. Just very posable, very awesome as far as that goes. As far as him being balanced, how good he'll stand, I'm not getting into that because the video's already getting long enough. But one thing I want to compare it to, you can see there's some of the stuff he can do. I do have a recent Spider-Man figure, one from maybe the last or the one before last, the retro carded wave. I have got the Scarlet Spider. This is one of my favorite Spider-Man figures. Now, one thing he's got that I do like better, look at that. He doesn't have the independent neck stud that moves, but he can do some side to side there on his head. That's what I wish the Maximum Spidey here had. He's got it a little bit, but not as much as what this one does. Let's try to get him. I mean, he'll do it, but look at that. So let's pose him up here now. Right there. I mean, side by side with them doing those poses. I mean, the Maximum Spider-Man does have more flexibility to get up there. You really got to work Maximum Spidey. And look here at the bottom. I mean, you got more of a slut pose there from Scarlet Spider with his legs open than what you do on that. And that's one thing I saw people doing. They were posing this figure, like kind of like that. And the people were saying they can do that with regular Marvel Legends. Well, I've had this figure out of package for quite a while. He's pretty worked. He's pretty limber. But with this one, no. I mean, is it the same with every Spider-Man figure? No. I mean, maybe there are some that will do it. This one will not. This one feels stiffer. I mean, as far as your joints, but I don't mean that in a way that his joints feel loose. But the only thing on him I had trouble moving is this one. And right there it goes. It just came loose right there. Was that double knee on this Spider-Man? The joints don't feel tight, but now they don't feel loose, like they're going to break either. I don't know how to describe that any better than that. It feels like an awesome action figure. Comparing it to the thing here, looking there, he won't do the Van Damme split either. So maybe that's just Marvel Legends. I don't know. He actually won't do it as much as the Maximum figure will, because he'll go out that far, and then Maximum Spidey here will go out, like that. So a little bit more range of motion there too as well. I gotta say, guys, and you got the extra cuts there in the wrist. He don't have that. He does have the one here on his shin, but he doesn't have the one right below the elbow joint like this one does, where you can twist the wrist there. And they probably give him that just because they gave him those extra web shooter hands. And I don't think these have drop hips, do they? A little bit, but not as much as what the Maximum does. So you got a little more range of motion there as well. So while I still love this figure, one of my favorite Spider-Man, I'm sorry, this is a better, more articulated figure than this one. Now, maybe I should have got a newer Marvel Legends Spider-Man. I don't know, but I mean, as far as moving it and stuff like that, I mean, this one is a lot better. So, Scarlet Spider, buddy, thank you for helping me do some comparisons on this one. Let's get some closing thoughts on this thing, guys. Do I think it's worth $50? Right now, I'm going to say yes. I want to do some posing with him. I want to see how balanced and stuff he is as far as standing up without having. I don't want to use figure stands. I don't like using figure stands. But you can see there look at how torqued I've got his feet there. And I mean, I've got him down there and he went right in that pose and he is standing up. I like this figure. Is it worth $50? I keep going back to that question. Looking at today's current toy prices, $50, I would say, is a pretty fair assessment for this. I would say, yes, it definitely is. If I had a Mafex figure of Spider-Man to compare it to, because of what I've heard, Mafex is the gold standard of Spider-Man figures as far as quality, articulation, and all that. So if I had one of those to compare it to, I think I can give you a better synopsis. I don't feel like I got ripped off with this, given the quality of the figure, given the paint, given the way the plastic, it feels like a more upscale figure to me. All the different hands, 3 different head sculpts, all the web accessories. I'm going to say the $50 price tag ain't that bad, guys, for what you get nowadays in collecting. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but this has went on long enough rambling on. I'm going to hush up now. Awesome Spider-Man figure. I'm happy with my purchase. If anybody's on the fence about it, I would get it. If you love Spider-Man, if you like Marvel, I think you're going to be happy with this. If you're just a casual fan, do not get a $50 Spider-Man figure. If you're only a casual fan, stick with the, as of right now, $25 Marvel Legends, until Hasbro ups the price here in a little bit. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if there's something I didn't cover that I should. If somebody has a Mafex figure and has compared it to this, let me know how it stacks up. I want to know an honest assessment if this stacks up against a Mafex. It shouldn't be as good because it's half the price. Mafex is over $100 or at $100. It should be a better figure, but I'm going to quit rambling on now. Again, if you're not subscribed to The Man Collects, be sure to click that subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications. If you enjoyed this review, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you go Instagram accounts, follow me on Instagram. The link to that's in the description of this video. And I'm signing out for now. I will see you the next time the man decides to review a $50 action figure.